me. I'm going to appoint William Parvin to represent you, sir. And I'm going to hold you on a $250 bond as to each of these two matters. It looks like you may also have a felony matter that you're being held on. Sir, I'm also going to order that if you do post those bonds and you find yourself out of custody, that you not return to the incident locations that these alleged thefts are alleged to have occurred at. The $250 bond that I'm imposing is to each case. However, it's going to be concurrent with each other. I'm noting that you have that felony hold, sir. Your next hearing is going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's going to be for an in-custody pretrial in Pima County Justice Court, sir. If you're still in custody at that time, sir, then it's entirely possible, if not likely, that you may be seen by video at Justice Court. Any questions, sir?
Yeah, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. You're excused.
Wow. Right.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Mr. Michael William Wildman.
A moment. Mr. Wildman, I'm seeing you on a matter of out of Tucson City Court that alleges one count of, three counts of domestic violence alleged to have been committed against your sibling, Mr. Anthony Wildman. You, sir,
Sorry.
you have.
Sorry.
Okay.
He just passed away.
Oh, he did. Okay.
My brother just passed away. He just passed away October 23rd at 12:34 p.m. at a university at Banner University.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. My condolences. That's not good. I'm sorry to hear that. That may or may not affect the ability of this case to go forward. But for today's sake, I'm going to make some orders, sir. And the first order is that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you, sir. You also have the right to go get an attorney if you want to get one. I'm not going to appoint one, though, because I'm going to release you from custody today, sir. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to release you on your promise to appear at your next court date, sir. That next court date is going to be on December 1st. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but it's going to be on December 1st at 9:30 in the morning in Tucson City Court. That hearing is going to be in front of Judge Mayhew. As conditions of your release, sir, you're going to be ordered not to commit any future acts of domestic violence, to have no contact of any kind with Mr. Anthony Wildman. Of course, if he's deceased, then that is not going to be an issue. And that
Am I able to appear in his at his funeral? His funeral's tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to allow that, sir, given the circumstances. That seems to be a perfectly reasonable request. I'm going to permit you to attend. In fact, I believe you when you say that he in fact passed away. And so for that reason, I'm going to lift the no contact provision as it relates to him, sir. So I am taking that off of the paperwork that you're going to get. And so, sir, you do
And
need.
one more thing.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry, Your Honor.
No,
One
go
more
for
thing.
it. Go for it.
I believe I was held on the bond. Is that the reason why I was hold? My bond was on hold? Because I was going to get released on bond, but it was on hold.
Let me see what's going on as far as your hold, sir. Just a second. It looks like you have another matter out of Superior Court, the criminal trespass charge that it's Superior Court, sir.
Yes. I'm getting probation.
Okay.
I'm getting probation November 12th.
Okay. I'm not seeing you on that today, sir. That's something that I don't have any control over at this time. And so what you might want to do is talk to your lawyer, sir. I'm not your lawyer, but talk to your lawyer on that case as soon as you can. and see if they can file what's called a motion to modify release conditions.
Yes, we did that. That's why I thought I was here.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Okay, but is the hold, is it lifted? That's not coming from you guys, is it? Or is it coming from my probation?
let's keep these things straight and separate. So the case that I'm seeing you on today, which alleges just one misdemeanor count related to your brother, sir. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's the 3 misdemeanor counts. It is, I'm releasing you on that case. Okay. So
Okay.
that means that that case is not something that's going to hold you. However,
Okay,
I am looking at the jail website right now that lists holds and so forth, and it looks like you have a hold out of Superior Court on a felony case that I have no
Okay.
control over this morning. So if your
okay.
attorney has,
Probation hold.
yeah, sure. Well, I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm not sure what the hold is for. It's a pretty new case number, so I don't have any control over that. It's possible your attorney could get that adjusted so that you can be present at the funeral, sir. I can't promise you that because it's not something that I'm dealing with right now. For the purpose of the misdemeanor case, so I am ordering you released, sir. So that's not going to keep you in. And additionally, I've gave you the other orders. You must come back to your next court date, sir, which is again on December 1st, 9:30 in the morning in Tucson City Court. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay, one
Do
of
you
the,
need documentation for my,
No.
my death to my brother?
no, I believe you, sir. And again, I don't have any control over the felony. So, as to the city court case, I do not need that documentation. That's something that you may want to bring to court with you, though, on December 1st. Because if
Okay.
you do that, frankly, the fact that your brother has passed since this incident is alleged to have occurred may impact the prosecutor's ability to go forward with that case. I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying that's something that the prosecutor may want to know before deciding what to do with the case. So bring that proof with you on December 1st, sir.
Okay,
One other thing I must advise you, sir, is that this is the time for your arraignment on that city court case. I'm going to enter pleas and not guilty on your behalf. You're presumed innocent as it relates to those charges, sir. If you fail to appear at a future hearing on this case, future hearings, including trial, could go forward in your absence, sir. If you're convicted at that trial and cannot be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all that, sir?
absolutely.
All right. Thank you, sir. That is it. And again, my condolences. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Please tell me your name.
Samuel Joseph Ryerson.
All right. Just a moment, sir. Okay, Mr. Ryerson, I am seeing you this morning on one new charge that is alleged to be an act of assault that is alleged to have occurred at the jail yesterday at about 3:30 in the afternoon. You, sir, I must advise you, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you, sir. And so you also have the right to seek an attorney if you'd like. I am actually going to appoint one on this case, sir, because it looks like you have a probation violation hold out of Superior Court, which I'm not dealing with today. So I'm going to appoint to that attorney just so that they can help you navigate having cases in 2 different courthouses. And so that's what I'm going to do, sir. I'm appointing, his name is William Parvin to represent you, sir. And I'm going to
Okay.
set, I'm going to set an in custody pretrial hearing, sir. It's going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm going to hold you, sir, on a $500 bond. It's going to be a cash or secured bond. And sir, I must additionally order that you have no contact with the victim. So whoever it was, I don't know, and I don't need to know right now, but whoever that victim was, please don't have any contact with him. And then, sir, you will be seen tomorrow at in justice court on this matter, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. You have a good rest of your day. Take care.
You too.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't think the judge services.
All righty. Good morning, sir.
Juan Marcus, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on 3 different fugitive warrant matters out of New Mexico. Looks like they're out of Silver City, New Mexico. At least one of them is. Additionally, sir, it appears that you may have a local matter as well out of Superior Court, specifically that you're pending sentencing on. I'm not seeing you on that. I'm just seeing you on the fugitive warrant matter, sir. So this is your initial appearance, sir. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to these fugitive warrant matters. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all stages of this case, sir. I'm going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you. In order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I have also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is requesting a $50,000 bond, and also the information in the interim complaint. Ms. Mahalik, do you have anything further that you'd like the court to know? Good morning, by the way.
Yes. Good morning. The state is amending the previous recommendation to a no bond hold, given that he is on pretrial release in the 4225 case.
Okay, just a moment. And defense?
One moment, Your Honor.
And just for the record, I'm not inclined to issue the no bond hold for 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons why I could. Well, 3 reasons, 2 which could apply in this context. The first is that he's committing a new felony on release, and the second is that it's a post-conviction fugitive warrant matter. I see all these matters out of New Mexico to be pre-conviction in nature, and the offense that he's pending sentencing on, he's not being seen on that. And so for that reason, there's no reason before the court today to allege that he committed a new offense while on release. So for those reasons, I'm not inclined to grant the no bond request, but I do see that the state is requesting a $50,000 bond. So with that said, defense, what would you like me to know?
Judge, we concur with the court's analysis on the no bond request. All I would ask is, since Mr. Marquez has not been able to post the $5,000 bond, and since both matters are in Superior Court already, I don't know if the court can do a concurrent bond, but if the court cannot do a concurrent bond, since he's not been able to pay the $5,000, we ask the court to consider setting another $5,000 bond on the New Mexico matters.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the court is going to impose a $20,000 cash or secured bond out of these New Mexico matters. Mr. Marquez, you just, from the court's estimation, you have a lot going on in a lot of different jurisdictions. So for that reason, this bond appears appropriate. So that's what I'm doing. As I've said, I'm appointing the legal defender to represent you, sir. Your next hearing is going to be a hearing on the fugitive warrant matter. That's going to be on November 4th at 2:30 in the afternoon in Superior Court. So that's next Tuesday, 2:30 in the afternoon in Superior Court. Sir, if you do post that bond somehow and you find yourself out of custody, you must make contact with Silver City County. And I'm not saying you go there physically, but you must reach out to the courthouse and begin the process of getting that case taken care of. You can speak with your attorney about what that may consist of. I'm not permitting you to leave the state of Arizona at this time, given that you're pending sentencing in a local matter. So for those reasons, that is the court's order. Anything further that either party would like to add as a condition on this?
Nothing from the state.
Not from the defense, Judge.
All right, hearing none, that takes care of it. So thank you very much, Mr. Marquez. You are excused, sir.
Yeah.
Been better.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you please tell me your name?
Deanna Wheelbarger, Your Honor.
Good morning. I saw you yesterday in court. So, ma'am, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested, and this is the new charge I believe that Mr. Kaplan was talking about. You've been arrested on new charges that allege shoplifting and then additionally, I believe, theft. But give me just a moment. Yep, well, that's 2 counts related to shoplifting. And it looks like you do have a probation violation warrant that is holding you, ma'am, presently. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney on this case and all of your cases. Ma'am, I am going to order the legal defender to represent you, ma'am. That'll be Mr. Kaplan again. In order to prepare for this initial appearance, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services and the state's recommendation, which is, what did I do? Appears to be $10,000. And then additionally, the information, let's see, just a moment. Just a moment. Yeah, so that covers it. So anything
I don't know.
anything further the state would like me to know on that $10,000 bond request?
Your Honor, I just want to highlight the significant criminal history and the fact that bond or holds are not always remaining in place these days. So I am requesting a $10,000 bond.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. McCock, sir.
Judge, I see that Ms. Wheelbarger has a disposition hearing yesterday. And that was the probation violation hold. So I don't know if it cleared as of yesterday, whether probation was revoked or continued. I don't have.
And I could tell you, Mr. Katak, we did continue that hearing just because Mr. Kaplan, quite understandably, and Mr. Wheelbarger, for that matter, wanted to know what the future held as it relates to this new case before moving forward with disposition on the older cases. So we just continued it. I want to say we continued it 30 days to early December, but I don't remember that for a fact.
Oh, okay.
I believe it was December 2nd.
Okay, thank you.
So Judge, given that Ms. Wheelbarger is already being held on a no bond hold on the probation matter, we would ask you to consider setting a $5,000 bond for time credit purposes, given the nature of the offense.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I'm going to impose a $5,000 cash as secured bond, ma'am. You're being held already, so this is kind of academic, but it will get you time credit as it relates to this new case, so that's a good thing. Ma'am, if you do somehow find yourself out of custody, I'm going to order you not to return to the incident locations. Incident location, excuse me, possess no firearms or and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next hearing, ma'am, is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be in Superior Court on November 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with Mr. Kaplan because he'll, of course, have about the most current information one can have as to what's going on with this new case, okay? All right, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, have a good day.
Your Honor, may I be briefly excused till the
Sure.
court handles misdemeanors?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Your meeting. Yeah, sorry.
There you go, Your Honor, sorry.
All right, no worries. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All righty, Mr. Davis, and could you please tell me your full name?
Russell Nelson Davis.
All right, and sir, this is your initial appearance. It looks like I'm seeing you on a warrant alleging a failure to appear reference to driving on a suspended license charge, sir. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case can be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint William Parvin to represent you, sir. He's a contract attorney here in Pima County. And so, just a moment. So, sir, the amount on the warrant is listed as $2,499, cash or secured, and the warrant includes specific information from the issuing judge that you are to be held on that amount. So I'm going to honor that amount, sir. Hold you on a bond of $2,499, cash or secured. I'm going to set your next hearing. It's going to be tomorrow, sir, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you post that bond, sir, you find yourself out of custody, you must come back to court. Your next hearing is going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So you must come back then. If you fail to appear, sir, I must advise you that a warrant could be issued for your arrest. If you find yourself out of custody, sir, I'm going to order that you do not drive without a valid license. So if you don't have a valid license, please do not drive. And I believe that that covers it. So thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
Sir?
Oh, yes, it will. Right now.
Well.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Please tell me your name.
Denise Leon.
All right, just a moment. Okay, Ms. Leone, I'm seeing you on new charges that allege four counts of domestic violence related misdemeanors, three of which are disorderly conduct. The fourth is a assault allegation alleged to be an act of domestic violence. All of this is alleged to have happened yesterday morning around 3 o'clock in the morning. So you,
Yes.
ma'am, have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these charges. Give me just a second. Okay, ma'am. I am going to release you on these cases with certain conditions. So give me just a moment and I'll talk to you about them.
All right.
Okay, so the reason why I'm going to release you, ma'am, among other reasons, is the fact that you don't have any criminal history, so far as I can tell. And additionally, the victims in this case are willing to have further contact with you and you return to that incident location. So for that reason, I'm going to release you, ma'am. Your next hearing is going to be an arraignment. That's going to be in Pima County Justice Court. You're going to get paperwork that says this. Pima County Justice Court on November 10th. That's a month. Order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you commit no further acts of domestic violence. And if you're willing to abide by those conditions, I'm willing to release you on your promise to appear at court on the 10th. Does that work for
Yes.
you, ma'am? Are you willing to do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. You're excused. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Yep.
You too.
Joseph Martinez. All that, all right hand side, please.
Good morning, sir. Would you please tell me your name?
Joseph John Martinez.
Okay, sir, I am seeing you on new charges that are alleged to be three acts of domestic violence that occurred sometime today, this morning. Reckless burning, a domestic violence criminal damage charge, and a domestic violence criminal trespass in the third degree. And so,
A police officer assaulted my child.
and sir, that may be the case, but I must advise you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you, sir. And so you also have the right to an attorney. I'm not going to appoint one for you on this case because, well, actually, I am going to appoint one for you on this case, sir, because I do intend to hold you. It looks like you have a Superior Court matter that you are pending in. And additionally, you're a 6 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale. So for that reason, sir, I'm going to hold you on a $250 cash or secured bond. And so, if you're able to post that, sir, you find yourself out of custody, you must come back to court, and your next hearing, if you are out of custody, sir, would be on November 25th, 8:30 in the morning. However, I'm sorry, your next hearing is going to be on November 4th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's regardless of whether you're in or out of custody, sir. If you are still in custody at that time, then you'll probably be seen on video on the 4th. If you do find yourself out of custody, sir, I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or illegal weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that hearing, sir, it's going to be in Saurita Municipal Court, actually. So it's going to be, you'll probably be seen on video down in Saurita. So if you find yourself out of custody, sir, you must go to that hearing down in Saurita. And then that covers it, other than appointing you an attorney, sir. Give me just a moment. I'll tell you who that's gonna be. Why not? But if you're telling me that's who it is, I believe you. Will do. So I'm gonna appoint Gary Grinkowicz to represent you, sir, as it relates to this new case. And so he's your attorney. You're gonna get paperwork that has all this information on it. It's gonna have his contact information as well, sir. So that covers it for this morning, sir, other than me advising you that if you find yourself out of custody, you do not come back to that next court date, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody, okay? All right, thank you. Have a good day. You are excused.
Moreno.
Oh, okay. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Could you please tell me your name?
Suzette Moreno.
Alrighty, Ms. Moreno, this is your initial appearance. I am seeing you on a new charge alleging one count of assault alleged to be an act of domestic violence. It looks like the alleged victim is your husband, Mr. Ramirez. So give me just a moment, ma'am. I'm inclined to release you, but I need to know that you're willing to follow certain conditions. So give me a moment to tell you about them, and then I'll ask you if you are willing to abide by that. Okay, I'm going to order, ma'am, that you possess no firearms or weapons while this case is pending, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no further acts of domestic violence. You're not allowed to have any contact with the alleged victim, Mr. Ramirez, and you're not allowed to return to the incident location. That's the order for today's sake. Part of the reason why that is the court's order is because it looks like the victim's input on whether or not return to the residence and further contact was okay with him could not be obtained. So if that's something that can be learned between now and that next hearing, then it's possible that that could be addressed at that next hearing. However, because I'm ordering no contact, you're not going to be able to reach out to identify what his position is on that. But if he attends the hearing, then that might be able to be addressed. In any event, are you willing to do that? Because if you're willing to do that, then I'm willing to release you. Okay. So in light of that, ma'am, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear. Just you need to show up at court at that next hearing on November 10th, 10:30 in the morning. You're going to get paperwork that says all of this. And so one other thing, ma'am, is that I'm assuming that you may have items, belongings at the residence that you may need. Is that correct? Okay, all right. In light of that, I'm not gonna put anything down about returning with a police escort to get things, so I'm going to leave that as is. Please come back to court on that date, ma'am, and then we will see you then, okay? Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning. Could you please tell me your name?
Randy Ulmer.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just a moment. Okay, Ms. Ulmer, I am seeing you on allegation, a warrant alleging that you failed to appear in relation to a shoplifting charge. So if I release you on this matter, ma'am, are you willing to come back to court and take care of this case?
Yes.
Okay. So in light of that, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set your next hearing. It's going to be, you're going to get paperwork that says this, but I'm setting it on November 10th, 8:30 in the morning. It's going to be in Pima County Justice Court. I'm also going to order that you do not go back to the incident location where the shoplifting is alleged to have occurred. And so that takes care of it, ma'am. I need you to show back up at that court date on the 10th, because if you don't do that, a new warrant will likely issue for your arrest and you will likely find yourself back in custody. Do you understand that? That's a yes. I'm seeing a nod. Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. You're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning,
Please tell me your name.
Rhonda K. Acton.
All right, just a moment. Ms. Acton, this is your initial appearance. You have been charged with 2 counts, one of which is refusing to give your true name, and the other alleges criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. All of this is alleged to have happened last night around 10 o'clock at night, ma'am. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case can and will be used against you. You have a right to get an attorney of your own if you want. I'm not going to appoint one for you because I'm going to release you today, so long as you follow certain conditions. Are you willing to follow these conditions, ma'am, once I tell you about them?
Yes,
Okay. So I'm going to order, ma'am, that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages while this case is pending. I'm going to order that you not go back to the incident location, and specifically it's a 7-Eleven that is at 5th Street and Alvernon, but I'm also going to order that you not go back to any 7-Eleven store. And so are you willing to follow that, ma'am?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
In light of that, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear in city court. Your next hearing is going to be a pretrial hearing on December 1st, 2025, 9:30 in the morning. That's going to be in front of Judge Maldonado. You're going to get paperwork that has all this information, ma'am, okay?
yes.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Actually, one more thing, if you could come back, ma'am. I'm sorry, I forgot something I need to tell you. This is also the time set for your arraignment on that city court charge. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty on your behalf. You're presumed innocent as it relates to that, man. If you fail to appear at a future hearing on this case, then any hearing on that case, including trial, could go forward in your absence. And if you could not be sentenced within 90 days of being convicted, if you were at that trial, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Now you're excused. Have a good day.
Hello, sir.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Could you please tell me your name?
Good, Corona?
All right, just a moment. Is it Carone?
Coroni, it's Italian.
Caroni, got it. All right, and so, Mr. Caroni, this is your initial appearance. You have been charged with 1 count that is alleges disorderly conduct fighting as an act of domestic violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case can be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. However, I'm not going to appoint one because I intend to release you on this case so long as you follow certain conditions. So let me tell you about the conditions, and I'm going to ask you if you're willing to follow them.
Yes,
So
sir.
the first condition is that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. You have no contact of any kind with the victim, who is Felicia Bork, and that you not go back to the victim's residence or incident location. Are you willing to follow those conditions, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is that a shared residence?
What do you mean?
Like,
Sure.
do you live there? Do you live where the incident location is?
Yes, yeah, I have
Yeah.
stuff there.
Okay, and so would you need to go back and get any belongings? Because I can allow you to do that so long as you do that with a law enforcement escort, and I can tell you more about that process.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on this condition of release here, and you're going to get this paperwork, but sir, it's totally fine for you to go back to retrieve personal belongings at that location. However, you have to do it with a police escort. So the jail may have more information on how to do that. I guarantee you that the local law enforcement agency does. So if you go into like one of the Tucson Police Department substations, or you call them on their non-emergency line, they can help you out by providing an officer to go with you so that you can go collect what you need to collect so that you can stay away from that residence while this case is pending. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. And then one final thing, and then you'll be on your way. I must advise you, sir, that this is also the time set for your arraignment on this new city court case. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You're presumed innocent as it relates to these allegations. If you fail to appear at any future hearing on this case, those hearings, including trial, could go forward in your absence. If you're convicted at that trial, cannot be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. You are excused, Mr. Caroni.
You have a good day.
Boxer. All the way up, part of the 10-7 boys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
What's Adam Hoxter?
Okay, just a moment. Mr. Hoekstra, I am seeing you on new charges that are both alleged to be acts of domestic violence, specifically two charges, one of which alleges disorderly conduct fighting, and the other alleges threatening and intimidating. This is alleged to have occurred last night, right before midnight. So, sir, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to these charges. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You also have the right to get an attorney if you want to retain one, go hire one, but I'm not going to appoint one because I intend to release you so long as you follow some pretty specific conditions. I'm going to tell you about them, sir, then I'm going to ask you if you're willing to follow those conditions. So the condition, really the main one in this case, sir, is that you commit no further acts of domestic violence and that you additionally possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs. Are you willing to follow those conditions, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so I am not adding a requirement that you not go back to the incident location or that you not have contact with the alleged victim, who is alleged to be Erin Outram. I'm probably saying that wrong. You may have
No, that's correct.
because she has said that she does not object to further contact, does not object to your release, does not object to you going back to the residence. But please just commit no further acts of domestic violence and please come back to court. You're going to get paperwork date, sir, is going to be December 2nd at 1:30 in the afternoon, and that's going to be in Tucson City Court. So you'll get paperwork that says this, sir, and that covers it. Please come back to court. If you do not come back, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody, okay?
Okay.
All right, have a
Thank
good day.
You too. Ms. Blair?
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Dara Lair.
Okay, just a second. Ms. Lara, I'm seeing you on new charges that are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. There are 3 of them. 2 counts of disorderly conduct fighting and then 1 count of criminal damage. And so, just a moment. So, ma'am, I am willing to release you on this case so long as you follow certain pretty specific conditions. I'm going to tell you about them, and then I'm going to see if you're willing to abide by these conditions. So give me just a moment, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, I am going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs while this case is pending. Commit no further acts of domestic violence. That you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, who is Michael Peragraski, it appears. And so his input as to whether or not he was okay with contact or not could not be obtained before this hearing. So if he has a different opinion on that and believes that contact is appropriate, this condition that I'm imposing today can be addressed at a future court date. However, for today's sake, you are to have no contact with him and you are not to go back to the victim's residence or the incident location. If you're willing to follow those conditions, ma'am, I'm willing to release you today. Are you willing to follow those conditions?
Yes, sir. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
The reason why he wasn't able to be contacted was because the phone number that he used to call the police was my phone.
Okay.
Is it possible for him to get in contact with somebody between now and the court date, or do we have to wait until the court date to address this?
No, it's something he could get in contact with the city prosecutor's office. He's probably going to want to reach out to the victim advocates victim advocates at the city prosecutor's office. He can let them know what his position is on contact, and then it's possible that that contact provision could be addressed sooner than that next court date. And specifically, that next court date I'm setting is on December 2nd at 1:30 in the afternoon, and that's going to be in front of Judge Million. You're going to get paperwork that says all this, but your next court date, December 2nd, 1:30 in the afternoon, Judge Million. I'm ordering you released with the conditions that I said, ma'am. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning. Could you please tell me your name? Okay, just a moment. Ms. Lopez Flores, I am seeing you on a matter alleging that you failed to appear in relation to a charge of criminal trespass in the third degree. And it appears that you may have new charges relating to criminal trespass in the third degree, and then also possession of drug paraphernalia. And it looks like you may also have a matter in Superior Court presently. So what I am going to do, ma'am, is give me just a moment. Okay, so it looks like there's a hold out of Superior Court in relation to that felony case alleging that you failed to appear at a hearing that was held last week in Superior Court. So you'll probably be seen on that matter in Superior Court sometime very soon, either tomorrow or next week at some point. In light of that, ma'am, I'm going to order you held on these city court matters. I'm going to impose a $500 cash or secured bond and set some additional hearings. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, ma'am. Your next hearing is going to be a video review, and that's going to be on November 7th at 1:45 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in Tucson City Courts. And so that is your next hearing on that, ma'am. That's going to be a $500 cash or secured bond. Additionally, I must advise you, ma'am, that this is also the time set for your arraignment on those new charges that I mentioned, the criminal trespass in the third degree and then on drug paraphernalia. And enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You are presumed innocent if you fail to appear at a future hearing on this case. Those hearings, including trial, could go forward in your absence. If you're convicted at that trial, cannot be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction. You could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Did you hear what I said, ma'am? Okay, thank you. And do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Yes.
I'm straight ahead. Services. From You're right.
Thank you.
And Brown.
Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Emma Ragland.
Ms. Ragland, I've seen you, this is your initial appearance. You have been charged with 2 charges, one alleging assault, the other alleging disorderly conduct. Both alleged to have occurred about 2 o'clock this morning. You have the right to remain silent, ma'am. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. However, I'm not.
My girl
Uh, okay.
she arrested. She beat me. I didn't touch her. She
Ma'am?
beat me. I have a knot on my head.
I'm gonna advise you,
Yes,
that you have the right to remain silent. I'm not saying that what you're saying is true or not true. It's not what we're discussing today. So, you know, to the extent that that is, what you believe, you may want to raise at a future hearing. All that I'm deciding today is whether you remain in custody or you are released on this case. And so, if I release you, ma'am, are you willing to follow certain conditions that I tell you about coming back to court and so forth?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release you on your promise to appear with these conditions, that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs while this case is pending. You do not go back to the incident location. And are you willing to follow those conditions?
Where my things are. My backpack is there with my ID and my debit card and my Visa card and my food card and everything.
Give me just
I
a
have
second.
to go back there.
Just a second. Let me take a look at this. I might be willing to rethink that. Give me just a moment.
That's where I live. And I have to go get my things. I don't want to be there because I don't want to be around her. I just want to go get my things and leave.
Okay. In light of that, man, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that condition that you not go back to the incident location. However, I am also going to mark on here that you may return one time with law enforcement to retrieve your personal belongings. So what that means is that essentially what you've said is something that you're going to be able to do. You will be able to go back to that location, ma'am, which appears to be a group home, to get your belongings, and then you can be done with it. You wouldn't be allowed to be there other than to get those belongings. The catch is you have to
The
do that.
boarding house.
You have to, well, that's, I'm sorry. And so, yeah, boarding house. Okay. And so, please do that with law enforcement. That's a court's order. So you can't go back there unless you have like a TPD officer with you. So if you contact.
I don't have the phone. My phone's dead. I don't have any way to contact DPD.
They may have more information on how to do that at the jail, but certainly if you contact TPD, they can do that. They can help you with that. I realize you don't have a phone, but you may be able to get assistance with contacting them. One other thing I want to tell you, since it came to mind, is that outside the jail, man, because I'm releasing you, there is a building called the Transition Center. And so, and you can actually find it because apparently there's like a blue pathway. There's a blue line that goes from where you are released at the jail to this place called the Transition Center. It's a trailer that's outside of the jail. They have different resources and support systems that could be useful, ma'am, even if it's something as simple as having a phone so that you can contact law enforcement about retrieving your personal belongings. So you are being released today. And once you get out of the jail, ma'am, before you leave that property, please go to that transition center because they could probably help you out with some things that may be helpful for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And so one of the thing I must tell you, ma'am, is that this is also the time for your arraignment on the new city court charters I told you about. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You are presumed innocent. If you fail to appear at a future court date on this case, including trial, things like trial could go forward in your absence. And if you're convicted at that trial and cannot be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose your right to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to get paperwork that explains this, but you are excused, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Let's go, young lady.
Come on, Council, you're up. We get the benefits now. Your turn. Okay. Morning.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
That's at the aquarium.
All right, just
Okay.
a second. Okay, Mr. Coronado, this is your initial appearance. You're seen on new charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug. Sorry, you possessed a dangerous drug. You possessed a weapon while being a prohibited possessor, and that you also unlawfully possessed drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on a warrant out of justice court alleging that you failed to appear reference a shoplifting charge that is alleged to have occurred on September 11th. So we'll talk about that other part of it in a moment. But sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case can be used against you. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. And you do have a right to have an attorney represent you at all stages of this case. So in order to prepare for this hearing, I've reviewed the interim complaint, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, and I've reviewed the state's recommendation, which requests a $10,000 bond. Anything further from the state, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Patak, sir?
Your Honor, so looks like I do acknowledge that Mr. Coronado has some priors, although I would like to point out that mostly non-violent priors. The present offense judge is a non-victim case. So I would be asking for release to pretrial services, but if Your Honor is not inclined to do that, given that this is a non-victim case, although I see the firearm allegation, we ask you to consider setting a $2,000 bond instead of a $10,000. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Coronado, I am going to impose a $7,500 cash and secured bond based on the failure to appear scale, new criminal activity scales, and the allegation that you possessed a weapon while being a prohibited possessor after having recently finished a sentence for a similar type of allegation. I'm going to set your next hearing, sir, as a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on November 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be in Superior Court. Please stay in contact with your attorney. Sir, if you find yourself out of custody, I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons and you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And additionally, I'm going to hold you on the justice court case on a much smaller bond, but hold you nonetheless. And so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you on that case as well, sir. His name is William Parvin. And your hearing on that matter, sir, is going to be tomorrow, the 31st, and it's going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So Mr. Parvin will be there tomorrow afternoon, sir, and you're going to be held on a $500 bond on that case. And that takes care of it, I think. One other thing I must advise you, sir, is that if you find yourself out of custody on either of these cases and you fail to appear at future court dates, sir, a warrant could be issued for your arrest. So important to come back to court if you are out of custody. Additionally, as it relates to the misdemeanor, sir, I'm going to order that you not return to the incident location wherever this shoplifting is alleged to have occurred. And then that covers it. Okay. Have a good day, sir. Tomorrow, yeah. I'm gonna ask. So jail, I mean, I know that Miss Ibarra is up next. I'm wondering if we might be able to take Samantha Piper. She's number 23. If we could take her after Miss Ibarra. I say that because her parents are present in the courtroom and that's why, if it's possible to do that.
Absolutely, Your Honor. No problem. We'll do Ibarra first.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Your case, she'll be not the next case, but the one after. You're welcome. You got it. Got it. Okay. And good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Rosa Ibarra.
Ms. Ibarra, I'm seeing you on a variety of matters. We have new charges at Superior Court alleging that you possessed a dangerous drug and that you possessed a narcotic drug and along with drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on 4 different failure to appear matters, 3 of which are out of Tucson City Court, 1 of which is out of Pima County Justice Court. So as it relates to all of these matters, ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney on these cases. As it relates to the felony, ma'am, I am going to appoint the, just a moment. Going to appoint, just a second. Who's the attorney? And so, ma'am, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you as it relates to the felony matter. And in order to prepare for this morning's initial appearance as it relates to the felony, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint. I reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, and I reviewed the state's recommendation of a $1,500 bond, noting the significant failure to appear history. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Patak, sir.
Your Honor, so I understand Ms. Ibarra has a 6 on 6 on both the scales, but given that she only has 1 prior from 2016 and that the new offense is steps eligible, I was going to ask for release to pretrial services with a steps court date next week. This is in light of her minimum criminal history felony wise, and I do acknowledge the warrants, Judge, but mainly due to the nature of the charge, I'm asking for this.
Thank you very much. So as it relates to release or staying in, I'm going to impose a $1,500 cash or secured bond. Ma'am, if you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, you will be supervised by pretrial services. Additionally, as part of your release, if you do find yourself out of custody, ma'am, you're ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, ordered to consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you must submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. And so one other thing that Mr. Fatak mentioned that I want to talk with you about is it appears that you may be eligible for a program called STEPS. So STEPS is a program that basically allows folks that may be eligible to participate in substance abuse treatment program. And if you successfully complete that program, the felony drug charges could potentially be dismissed and go away. Are you interested in participating in that program, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to set a steps hearing, and that's going to be on November 6th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be in Superior Court. If you're in custody, ma'am, you'll be transported to court for that hearing. If you're out of custody, then you're going to need to show up to court for that hearing on the 6th. And so that is the court's order. And then additionally, we're setting your preliminary hearing on November 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And then, so that takes care of the felony. I'm going to move on now to the Justice Court matter, the failure to appear. That Justice Court matter, ma'am, alleges that you failed to appear in relation to a case, a shoplifting case. That case, I'm going to impose a $250 cash or secured bond. I'm doing that just because with the existence of the felony case, it may be helpful. And frankly, the fact that you have multiple cases in 3 different courthouses, it may be advantageous to have a contract attorney help you out with that. So I'm going to appoint William Parvin to represent you, ma'am. And so I'm going to do that. Your next hearing, ma'am, is going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's going to be in Justice Court. And so that is the court's order. One final thing as it relates to that, I'm going to order that you not go back to the incident location where this shoplifting is alleged to have occurred. And so that takes care of that. I'm also noting the other holds. And so, okay, you're going to get paperwork that says this, ma'am. And then finally, one last thing before you are done. I've seen you on 3 failure to appear matters out of Tucson City Court that allege, among other things, you failed to appear in relation to multiple counts of theft or shoplifting, account of obstructing, refusing to give your name, possession of direct paraphernalia, and criminal trespass. As it relates to those matters, ma'am, I am going to impose a $500 cash secured bond. I'm going to set your next court date, which is going to be a video review hearing. That's going to be on November 7th, which is next Friday, 1:45 in the afternoon. And so if you're still in custody, ma'am, you will be seen at that time through like a video link. And so additionally, ma'am, if you're out of custody on those cases, I'm going to order that you possess and consume no alcoholic beverages, not to return to the incident locations. And I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, ma'am. I am noting the other holds and the other matters.
And was there a bond, Judge? I may have missed that.
Yes, I'm sorry, $500 bond as it relates to the city court cases. So that takes care of that. And the next hearing, as I said, November 7th, ma'am. So next Friday, you'll be seen in city court. And one final thing as it relates to the city court cases, I must advise you that if you do not, well, actually to all of these cases, if you do not appear, ma'am, at any future court dates on any of these cases, a warrant could issue for your arrest. As it relates to the city court cases, this is also the time set for your arraignment. So I'm going to order, I'm going to find enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf as it relates to those charges. Ma'am, you must come back to court on the city court cases in particular, because if you fail to appear, then a warrant could issue for your arrest and trial could go forward in your absence. And you could lose the right to appeal that conviction in the event that you were convicted. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day. Good morning.
Excellent. Hi, good morning,
Hi, could you please
Your
say
Honor.
your name?
Samantha,
Your
last
last name?
name E-P-E-R.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Piper, this is your initial appearance. You have been arrested on some new matters. as it relates to a felony matter, you've been arrested on a charge of criminal damage. Also seeing you on a couple misdemeanor charges that are alleged to be acts of domestic violence, specifically one count of disorderly conduct, making excessive noise, and one count of criminal damage alleged to be an act of domestic violence. Ma'am, as it relates to all of these matters, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you as it relates to the felony matter.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And so one thing, we're going to talk about your misdemeanor in a moment, but your misdemeanor allegations in a moment. And I want to let you know that your parents are present in the courtroom as it relates to the misdemeanor matter, which we'll come back to. But and so in order to prepare for the initial appearance this morning, ma'am, I reviewed the information provided by pretrial services. I've reviewed the state's recommendation and additionally the information in the interim complaint. The state is recommending that you be held without bond pursuant to Article 2, which states that if you are on release for one felony case, and then while you're on release for that case, you pick up a second felony case that occurred while you were on release for that first one, that you shall be held without bond. Ms. Mahalik, is there anything further that you'd like to add?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, and from you, Mr. Patak?
Your Honor, given the state's request, we ask you to set a no bond. We ask the court to set a no bond hearing in 5 days.
Okay, thank you. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a no bond hearing, and that's going to be on Tuesday. That's going to be on Tuesday, November 4th at 2:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be in Superior Court. And so at that time, ma'am, what will happen is the parties will determine whether or not that hearing's actually going forward or whether or not a bond may be set in lieu of that no bond hold. But for today's sake, you're going to be held without bond as it relates to that felony case. I must advise you, ma'am, that if you find yourself out of custody and you must show up to any and all future court dates, if you do not come back to court, ma'am, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could find yourself back in custody. I told you that the no bond hearing is on Tuesday afternoon. I am also setting a preliminary hearing. That's on November 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork that says all of this. So please stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender's office because they can keep you apprised of what's going on and so forth. So that takes care of that. I'm going to talk about the misdemeanor matter now. And so as it relates to that matter, ma'am, again, 2 counts alleged to be acts of domestic violence. And the victims are present in the courtroom. And as to the parents, is there anything that you'd like the court to know? As you just heard, she's being held without bond as it relates to the felony matter. So she's going to remain in custody at least till Tuesday. Is there anything that you'd like the court to know as it relates to the misdemeanor, though?
She's on medication at London.
Okay.
She's bipolar and schizophrenic.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, you can make sure they get medication.
Right. Got it. Okay. So the information that I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to say the specific medications over the broadcast, but I did hear from your parents, ma'am, that you are on some medications. So I'm sure that the jail is probably already attuned to that to the extent that they aren't already. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we just want to make sure that you get the medications that you need, ma'am. But your parents are here in support of you. And so that covers that. As it relates to the misdemeanor matter, because I'm holding you on the felony case, I am going to hold you on that misdemeanor case. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you. And I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 bond. And additionally, ma'am, if you do find yourself out of custody on that case, I'm going to order that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. And then give me just a moment. And because your parents are fine with you being released as to that matter, that you're welcome to return and that they would like further contact, I'm going to make no further orders as it relates to staying away from the incident location or staying away from them. Just need to make sure that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. And so, ma'am, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set your next hearing is going to be in Tucson City Court, and that's going to be next Friday. And that's going to be for what's called a video review. So if you're still in custody, well, whether you're
I have my name wrong on the screen, I'm realizing, but it's okay.
So what is your true name, ma'am? Could you tell me your first, middle, and last?
Samantha Noel Keeper,
Is it?
1/3 of 1989.
Thank you. And that's Pieper? Is that a yes?
EIDPER, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So I think we got it square then. Okay, so that next hearing is gonna be next Friday, 1:45 in the afternoon. You're gonna get paperwork that says all this, ma'am. And so one final thing before I let you on your way. That hearing is gonna be in front of Judge Mayhew at City Courts. And then finally, ma'am, this is also the time set for your arraignment on this new city court charge. So what that means, ma'am, is that I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. And so I must advise you that you must come back to court on that city court case. If you do not come back to court on really any of your cases, a warrant could issue for your arrest. But as it relates to the city court case, because this is also the time set for your arraignment, the trial in that case could go forward in your absence. If you were convicted at that trial without you being there and could not do what you need to do to appeal that within 90 days, then you could lose the right to do that. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you very much. You're excused. Have a good afternoon or good morning. Thanks. All right. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Veronica Alvarez Schweiss.
All right. Time set for your initial appearance, Miss Alvarez Schweiss. You've been arrested on charges alleging possession of a dangerous drug for sale and possession of a narcotic drug for sale. You have the right to remain silent, ma'am. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney on this case. I am appointing the public defender to represent you. Mr. Patak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of this hearing. In order to prepare for today's hearing, ma'am, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint and I also see that the state is recommending that you be released to pretrial services. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Patak, what would you like to tell me?
Your Honor, I see that she's not eligible for steps because of the nature of the charge. We are okay with pretrial services.
Okay, in light of that, ma'am, I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing at 1:30 in the afternoon on, November 19th, 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to get information, a piece of paper that has all this information, but I'm additionally going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. Ma'am, it's important that you come back to your next court date because if you do not come back to your next court date, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you very much. Have a good day. You are excused.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I apologize. Can you order no contact with the co-defendant?
Yes, and so I don't know if Miss Alvarez Schweiss is still in the area, but I'm going to order no contact as it relates to the co-defendant and his. Ronald Petrie, no contact with Ronald Petrie.
I think it was,
Oh,
grand staff.
that's right. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry. So that is what the court's order, no contact with co-defendant Robert Grandstaff. Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
April Engelbretson.
All right. Ma'am, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug for sale and that you also possess drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent, ma'am. Anything you say about this case can be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the legal defender to represent you, ma'am. Mr. Fatak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, ma'am, I've reviewed information supplied by pretrial services, reviewed the interim complaint, also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is requesting a $10,000 cash or secured bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
Your Honor, the state would just be requesting no contact with the co-defendant.
Okay. So, Mr. Fatak?
There's no objection to no contact with the co-defendant. I would ask for release to pretrial services. Your Honor, this is a victimless crime, and the last conviction seems to be from 2017. Additionally, Your Honor, I know she's 516 on the scales, but I don't see any misdemeanor history noted in the pretrial services report. So besides the one city court warrant, we ask for release to pretrial services. Thank you.
Okay, just a moment. All right, ma'am, if I release you to the supervision of pretrial services, are you going to come back to court?
Yes.
Okay, very simple, but very important. All right, in light of that, ma'am, I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services on this case. I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you submit to monitoring or treatment as recommended by pretrial services. As I've said, I'm appointing the legal defender to represent you. I'm ordering that you have no contact with Mr. Petrie, Ronald Petrie. Your next hearing, ma'am, is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be on November 19th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork that says all this, but really, really important for you to come to court and really important for you to stay in contact with your attorney, because failing to come to court, ma'am, could land you back in custody, and I'd imagine you'd rather not be at the jail. So for that reason, I'm giving you a chance, ma'am. Okay, have a good day. You're excused.
Thank you.
Judge, I think she has a city court case.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you for the reminder. Sorry. Okay, so I'm also seeing you on a matter out of Tucson City Court alleging that you failed to appear concerning one count of possession of drug paraphernalia and one count of being in a park after dark, after closed hours. And so, ma'am, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear on that case. And your next hearing is going to be in Tucson City Court. And that's going to be on December 1st at 2:00 in the afternoon. And that is going to be in front of Judge Verena. You're going to get paperwork that says all this as well. So much the same as with the felony case, ma'am. Really important that you come back to court, because if you don't do that, you could get a warrant on the city court case. And also, this is the time set for your arraignment. Actually, it looks like you've been previously arraigned on that, so I'm not going to rearraign you on that, but that covers it, ma'am. So 2 different court dates, 2 different courthouses. Please be there, because if you don't, a new warrant could issue. Okay, thank you. You are excused. Oh, yes, sorry about that. Yeah. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Would you please tell me your name?
Celia Frazier.
All right, just a moment, Ms. Frazier. So, Ms. Frazier, this is your initial appearance, ma'am. You have been arrested on new charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug, you possessed a dangerous drug, and that you also committed criminal trespass in the first degree. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these charges, ma'am. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney on this case. I am appointing the public defender to represent you, ma'am. Mr. Patak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of the hearing this morning. We'll also note that it appears that you have a Department of Corrections hold, ma'am. So in light of that, no matter what decision I make today, you're probably going to be remaining in jail. I see that the state is recommending a $1,500 cash or secured bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahala?
No, Your Honor.
Watson?
Judge, given that Ms. Frazier has that parole hold, I would be asking for a $500 bond for time credit purposes. And that's it, Judge.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Frazier, I am going to order that you be held on a $1,000 cash secured bond. If you do find yourself out of custody on this case, I'm going to order that you be supervised by pretrial services, that you possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You have no contact with the alleged victims. You do not go back to the incident location. Your next hearing, ma'am, is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be in Superior Court on Monday, November 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And so please stay in contact with your attorney between now and that next court date, because they'll just be able to help you out and move this process along. Okay, thank you, ma'am. You're excused.
Garibaldi?
Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Selena Garibaldi.
Ms. Garibaldi, this is your initial appearance. You have been arrested on three different, some different matters. The first alleges that you possessed a dangerous drug, you can possess drug paraphernalia, and then additionally that you committed shoplifting. All of those incidents are alleged to have happened yesterday on the 29th. Additionally, I'm seeing you on 2 warrants at a Pima County Justice Court alleging that you failed to appear in 2 different cases in relation to shoplifting allegations. So you have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these matters, ma'am. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all proceedings. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, ma'am. You have Mr. Fatak seated next to you for the purpose of this hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I've looked at the information in the pretrial services report. I've looked at the information supplied by pretrial and looked at the interim complaint as well. And the state's recommending that you be released to pretrial services. Is that correct, Ms. Mahala?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Fatak?
Your Honor, no objection to that. If the court is going to set a steps hearing and inclined to release her, we would ask to waive time to get us to the EH date. So the 45 days would put us to December 14th.
Okay, and so just a second. Say that again. I'll set it for the 15th. Okay, ma'am, so I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. And so one of the things that I want to talk with you about, well, first of all, I'm going to set some conditions. So, ma'am, as conditions of this release, you are ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, as I said. As Mr. Fatak mentioned, it also appears that you're eligible for a program called STEPS. What STEPS is it's a drug treatment program that is pretty good, frankly. And so if you successfully complete that program, the felony drug charges that you've been charged with today may get dismissed and go away. Are you interested in participating in this program?
Yes.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do, ma'am, is I'm going to set your next hearing. It's going to be a STEPS hearing. That's going to be on November 6th, which is 1 week from today, November 6th at 9 o'clock in the morning in Superior Court. So what you need to do, ma'am, is you need to come back to court in Superior Court downtown at 9 o'clock in the morning on November 6th. and then you'll learn more about that STEPS program. Really important that you come to that court date, ma'am, because if you do not show up, then it's possible that you could lose the ability to participate in that program. I'm also going to set a preliminary hearing date on December 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon, because your attorney has indicated that that he's willing to waive time in light of your potential participation in STEPS. And so that covers it as it relates to the felony matter. I need to talk to you briefly about the misdemeanor matter, ma'am, misdemeanor matters. And so on both of those matters, ma'am, again, each of them allege that you failed to appear in relation to shoplifting allegations. I'm going to release you on your promise to appear on both of those cases. However, I am going to appoint William Parvin to represent you, ma'am, on each of those cases. I'm going to set your next hearing for an arraignment. That's going to be on November 10th at 8:30 in the morning in Justice Court. You're going to get paperwork that explains this, but basically it's important to come to Justice Court on November 10th. That's a Monday, so that you can take care of these Justice Court matters. Because if you fail to appear again, ma'am, a warrant could issue for your arrest on these cases. You could find yourself back in custody. Additionally, I'm going to order, as it relates to both of these matters, that you not return to the incident location. So please don't go back to wherever these shopliftings are alleged to have occurred. Other than that, ma'am, you're going to be released on all these matters, but please stay in contact with your attorney. Please also make sure that you come back to court. Thank you very much, ma'am. You're excused.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Robert James Grandstaff.
All right, a moment.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Grandstaff, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug for sale. You possessed a dangerous drug. You also possessed drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney on this matter. I am going to appoint the legal defender to represent you, sir. For the purpose of this hearing, Mr. Fatak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out this morning. And so in order to prepare, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint, and I've reviewed the state's recommendation, which is requesting a $25,000 cash or secured bond. Ms. Mahalik, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Fatak.
Your Honor, I just checked with the jail if Maricopa County has placed a probation hold.
That's it. Sorry. Mr.
Do we have a probation hold on Mr. Grandstaff from Maricopa?
No, it's there's a what are they called?
Stuff. Judge, Mr. Grandstaff wants me to let the court know that he's a veteran and he was placed on probation in Maricopa County through a program which is designed for veterans. He is connected with the VA
Here in Tucson.
Your Honor, and so Mr. Grandstaff is specifically asking me to advocate only for pretrial services release. So I'll not be making an alternate bond recommendation at this time. Pretrial services also notes that he is disabled and he's been a Tucson resident for 38 years. So
Yeah,
for
2 years.
2 years, my bad. So Arizona resident for 38 years. So for all of those reasons, Judge, we would ask the court to consider release to pretrial services.
Okay.
I'm always trying to do the next right thing, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do, sir, is I'm going to order that you be held on a $2,500 cash or secured bond. Just given the existence of the probation matter at Maricopa County and the allegations that are now before the court. Additionally, plus your 6 out of 6 on the criminal activity scale and 5 on the failure to appear. I just can't release you, sir. It's just, it's not prudent. So for that reason, I'm holding you on that $2,500 cash secured bond. Your next hearing, sir, is going to be a preliminary hearing on November 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. If you do find yourself out of custody, sir, if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, you must report to probation, Maricopa County, so call them, at least establish telephonic contact within 72 hours of release. Do you understand?
I am, yes, Your Honor. I am in contact with my probation officer in Maricopa County on a regular basis.
Okay.
The only failure to appear I have is one in Mesa, which I didn't even know I had up until recently to find out that I have a non-extraditable warrant.
Well, sir, I'm going to hold you on that bond.
I'm trying to call the judge to deal with it there because I can't get in touch with my public defender out there.
Sir, I've made my decision. You're going to be held on that.
Yes, sir.
For captive security. It's possible your attorney could file a motion to have this reviewed later, but for today's sake, that's the court's order. Okay, thank you very much, sir. If you do find yourself out of custody, really important to come back to court, sir, because if you don't do that, a new warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. I'm additionally going to order, sir, that as a condition that you have no contact with co-defendants. Her name's Miss Schweiss Alvarez, or Alvarez Schweiss, Veronica Alvarez Schweiss. So please don't do that.
Why am I being charged with just like sales? You get all the disclosure, the body cam, and the police reports.
And thank you, sir. You are excused. Yes.
Okay, it's, he has 2 interims here and everything, you know. It's, yeah, if he has to see it. Okay. Are we muted it? Okay.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Charles Paul Ginrich.
Okay, just a second, sir. Mr. Gingrich, this is your initial appearance, sir. You've been arrested on charges that allege that you committed theft of means of transportation. That's from September 2nd, 2025, and that you committed shoplifting on October 24th, 2025. I've also seen you on 3 warrants alleging failure to appear out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney at all proceedings in these cases. If you cannot afford attorney, well, actually, I'm going to appoint one. So let me just get to that. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you, sir. And ma'am, could you tell Madam Attorney, could you tell me your last name again? I've forgotten it. I'm sorry.
Pima, do you need me to spell it?
No. I just want to make sure that I say it correctly, and then I say it. You know, your Miss Simonette Keller is seated next to you, sir, to help you out this morning. And so in order to prepare, I reviewed the interim complaints for these cases. I've also reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services and the state's recommendation. It looks like the state is alleging $2,500 in one case and then $7,500 in the other case. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Simonette Keller?
So, Your Honor, we're asking that he be released to pretrial services for both matter, if not a nominal bond. He has ties to the community. He's been living in Tucson for the past 30 years, and his prior is a non-violent prior from 2012.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, I am going to order that you be held on a $1,500 bond on each case. It's going to be a concurrent bond across both of those cases. So it's just one $1,500 bond as it relates to the felony matters. Sir, if you do post that bond, I'm going to order that you be supervised by pretrial services, which means that you must submit to any monitoring or treatment that they see fit. If I haven't already said so, that's going to be a cash or secured bond. And Additionally, sir, as it relates to these allegations, I'm going to order that you not go back to the incident location, that you have no contact with the victims. And so that takes care of that. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing on November 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. Then give me just a moment and we'll move on to the city court matters.
Is it okay if I ask a quick question?
You may want to ask your attorney first, sir, and then, I'm happy to hear it if she thinks it's a good idea.
I'm going to mute ourselves,
Sure.
Your Honor. We're okay, Your Honor. No
Okay.
questions.
Okay, thank you. And sir, I'm setting your next court date for a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on Monday, November 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be in Superior Court. Really important to stay in contact with your attorney, sir, and come back to that next court date if you find yourself out of custody, because if you fail to do that, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And so.
Judge, can I clarify something?
Yes, sure.
Your Honor meant Justice Court, right, on the PH?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, so the preliminary hearing would be in Justice Court. That's correct, but there would, yes, the short answer is you're correct, Mr. Patak. My apologies on that.
No worries.
So just a second. Okay. And then city court matters. Let me cover those real quick.
Justice.
So, sir, I'm also seeing you on warrants alleging that you failed to appear at a Tucson City Court in relation to a theft or shoplifting allegation, another theft allegation, and then criminal trespass in the third degree. So on those matters, sir, I'm going to hold you on a $250 cash or secured bond. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir.
Okay.
As part of that, I'm going to order that if you find yourself out of custody, sir, do not return to the incident locations. And so your next court date on the city court matter, sir, is going to be on November 7th, and that's going to be at 1:45 in the afternoon. And that's going to be for a video review.
Okay.
And so that takes care of that, sir. One other thing I want to advise you is that, again, much the same as with the felonies, if you fail to appear on these misdemeanors, sir, new warrants could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. Okay.
Okay.
Have a good day, sir. You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, sir.
Just answer the judge.
Good morning.
Can you please tell me your name?
Michael Allen Hubbey.
All right. So, Mr. Hubby, this, sir, is the time set for your initial appearance, and you have been charged with 5 counts of organized retail theft. Additionally, you're being seen on 1 warrant out of Tucson City Court alleging that you failed to appear in relation to a possession of paraphernalia case that occurred back in May. And so in order to prepare, sir, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these matters. You're going to be represented by an attorney on this case. Mr. Fatak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for today's sake. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. Additionally, I do note before I ask for the state's recommendation, it appears that Mr. Hubby is pending in a Superior Court matter. So in order to prepare for this hearing, I've reviewed the information by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and additionally, the state's recommendation, which is that Mr. Hubby be held without bond pursuant to Article 2, alleging that he was on release for a felony case, picked up a new felony case while on release. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Foxer?
Your Honor, can I have a brief moment? He really wants to.
Yes, sir.
So, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, Mr. Hubby is informing me that the on-release case that the state has alleged, he actually signed a misdemeanor plea, and so the conviction is for a misdemeanor. I don't have access to Agave, so I don't have any way to confirm that. But I think the argument then would be, since jeopardy attaches after he signs the plea, I know there is. I got pushed back previously when I tried to argue that jeopardy attaches after the plea is signed and before sentencing. On that ground alone, I would argue that he is entitled to a bond on the new matter. But if Your Honor disagrees and will hold that it's all done only at sentencing, then we would ask for a no bond hearing at this time.
So I do believe that this still meets the statute. I can't say that for certain. So for today's sake, I'm going to order that he be held without bond. However, that hearing is set next week. If there is some sort of difficulty proving that, that could certainly inform the state's position. But for today's sake, I'm going to order that no bond hearing. And so.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I missed that date.
Oh, yeah, it's all right, because I don't think I've said it yet. It's going to be November 4th. That's a Tuesday, 2:30 in the afternoon. And so that's the no bond hearing, sir. I'm also setting a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on November 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. Additionally, sir, if you do find yourself out of custody somehow, some way, then I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you do not go back to the incident locations. In fact, do not go back to any Harbor Freight anywhere, or Kohl's for that matter, sir. And so I've said all that. I've also need to talk to you about city court matter, sir. But before I do that, I am also going to order that you have no contact with the co-defendant. And her name is Miss Reyes, Maricruz Reyes.
Your Honor, my understanding is that was dropped, that
The city court.
city court.
Just a second.
I
Let me take a look.
did receive something that. Yeah.
Yes, so we will look right now. So, and I show the warrant, but the judge will have the full file, so.
So let's see. What I show is that this was in relation to a incident that's alleged to have occurred on May 12th, about the misdemeanor, May 12th, drug paraphernalia. And then I show the most recent minute entry appears to be from July 10th. And in that hearing, a warrant was issued at that time. That's the most recent hearing that I see prior to this hearing today. So for that reason, I do think it's still active, sir. As I may have said, I'm going to hold you on a $250 bond on that case, sir. Going to order you possess, consume no alcoholic beverages. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, sir. I'm going to set your next hearing as a video review. That's going to be at 2:30 in the afternoon on November 7th. November 7th. It's actually going to be November 7th at 1:45 in the afternoon. And so that takes care of that. One final thing, sir, just need to remind you, please come to court. If you don't come to court, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And you could find yourself back in custody. Okay? Thank you, sir. You are excused.
Learn. I'm not sure.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Andrew McClure.
All right. Thank you, sir. So I'm seeing you on a few matters, sir. This is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on new charges alleging that you possessed a dangerous drug and that you tampered with physical evidence. Those are alleged to have happened yesterday. I'm also seeing you on 3 misdemeanors that are also alleged to have happened yesterday on the 29th. I'm also seeing you on a warrant out of Tucson City Court alleging that you failed to appear in relation to a direct paraphernalia charge from back in 2019. Sir, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to all these matters. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. However, Mr. Patak is seated to your left for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for today's hearing, I reviewed the information supplied in the interim complaint. And from pre-trial, I also see that the state's recommending a $5,000 bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Patak, sir?
So Your Honor, looking at Mr. McClure's history, it seems like his last conviction is from 2018. I understand these are serious charges and he has some criminal history, but given that this is a victimless crime, Judge, we are asking for release to pretrial services. But if Your Honor is not inclined, we ask for a much lesser bond. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. McClure, I am in order that you be held on a $1,000 cash and secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. I'm ordering that you possess no weapons or firearms. You consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. You also have a justice court matter, sir, and a city court matter that I'm going to talk to you about right now. Your next hearing, sir, is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on November 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be in Pima County Justice Court. And so that takes care of the felony. And then I'm going to talk to you about the justice court matter, sir. On that matter, sir, you're being seen on a count alleging theft, possession of direct paraphernalia, and then a failure to appear. Just a second. Sorry, theft, direct paraphernalia, resisting arrest. And so on that case, sir, I'm going to hold you on a $250 cash secured bond. I'm appointing William Carvin to represent you. Your next hearing, sir, is going to be an in-custody pretrial. That's tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Ordering that you have no contact with the alleged victims. Do not go back to the incident location. Do not go back to the University of Arizona campus. Also noting the holds that you have as it relates to the other case. And so that takes care of that. And finally, sir, you have that third and final matter, which is out of Tucson City Court that alleges that you failed to appear in relation to a possession of direct paraphernalia allegation. And so, and that's alleged to have happened way back in 2019. On that case, sir, I'm going to, would you like him held on this one, Mr. Patak? I'm inclined to release him as it relates to this misdemeanor, but I don't know if it makes sense to have him have attorneys in different courthouses given everything going on. I can
on the city court, Judge.
How about this? I'm going to release him, but I'm also going to appoint an attorney. So I'll do
Sure.
a mixed bag on that. So, sir, as it
Sure.
relates to the city court matter, the 2019 failure to appear, I am going to release you on that case. However, I am going to appoint this against you. And so for that reason, I'm going to set your next hearing, which is going to be a non-transport review hearing date. And that is going to be on December 19th. And that's going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning in front of Judge Klotz. And so that takes care of that, sir. So on all of these matters, sir, it's really important that if you find yourself out of custody, that you come back to court, because if you don't come back to court, sir, a new warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. Do you understand that? All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day, sir.
So that one quick.
Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your vote?
Somebody Irene Monsivais.
Okay. Ms. Monsivais, this is your initial appearance. You have been arrested on charges that allege that you committed possession of narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of a dangerous drug back in February of 2025, February 25th, and that you were then arrested on new misdemeanor charges this morning that allege possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a prescription-only drug. You, ma'am, as it relates to all of this stuff, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Mr. Fatak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for this morning's hearing, ma'am, I reviewed the information in the interim from, I reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I reviewed the information supplied by the state, which is requesting a $500 bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Fatak, sir?
Judge, we're asking you to consider releasing Ms. Monsivais to pretrial services supervision, primarily because there was a return to sender notice documented in the court file. I don't see any other prior felony convictions, Your Honor. She was compliant with pretrial services release and last made contact with pretrial services in February of 2025.
Okay.
So for all those reasons, Judge, we're asking for one more chance.
All right. And Ms. Monsivais, if I release you, ma'am, will you come back to court?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it's very simple, but very important because I think you know what happens if that doesn't happen. And that means a new warrant's going to issue for your arrest. So I am willing to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, ma'am. Your next hearing is going to be an arraignment. That's 1 week from today, next Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon in Superior Court. Really important that you come to Superior Court that afternoon, because if you don't, I think you know what happens. Additionally, I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, no alcohol, illegal drugs, submit to monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial services. And so that takes care of the felony matter. However, we also have a misdemeanor matter that is alleged to have happened this morning about same time, 1:20 in the morning. And so that alleges, again, drug paraphernalia, possession of a prescription-only drug. And so on that case, ma'am, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear. Your next court date is going to be on December 1st at 9:30 in the morning. That's going to be in Tucson City Court. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but you need to go back to city. You need to go to City Court on Monday, December 1st at 9:30, because if you don't do that, then a warrant could issue for your arrest, ma'am. Additionally, I'm going to advise you that this is also the time set for your arraignment on that city court matter. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. And additionally, ma'am, I must advise you that much the same as I've already said, really important that you come back to court, because since you've been arraigned on this case, it's possible that this trial could go forward in your absence on the city court case if you do not show up on that case. So, and if you don't show up for that case, you get convicted, then you could lose your right to appeal that conviction if you do not appear within 90 days and take care of what you need to take care of. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, John.
Could you please tell me your name?
Robert Parker.
All right, Mr. Parker, this is your initial appearance, sir. You are being seen on charges that allege that you're being seen on a warrant, actually. It alleges that you committed arson of an occupied structure. Then you committed 2 counts of endangerment. This relates to events that are alleged to have occurred on January 19th, 2025. You, sir, have a right to remain silent as it relates to this case. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. I am going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you, sir. Mr. Fatak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out this morning for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for today's hearing, I reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, and I reviewed the state's recommendation, which is a $150,000 bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Fatak, sir?
Thank you, Judge. I know Mr. Parker seems to have some criminal history, the last conviction being from 2017. But Judge, I have absolutely no facts. It's a warrant, so I'm sure the state will have more facts than I do. But we're asking you to consider releasing Mr. Parker given the gap from the last conviction. Moreover, Your Honor, there seems to be his sister who has offered to provide some help and assume third-party custody. He's not been previously arrested on this warrant, Judge, and he seems to be gainfully employed. And he's lived in Tucson for over 20 years and has a job right now. So in light of all of that, Judge, we would ask for release instead of setting the $150,000, $50,000.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Parker, I'm going to hold you on a $50,000 cash secured bond. That's the amount on the warrant. Sir, if you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, I'm going to order you to be supervised by pretrial services. I'm setting your next hearing as a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on Monday, November 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, have no contact with the alleged victims. Do not go back to the incident location. I'm appointing the legal defender to represent you. And so that covers it. Other than, I want to advise you, sir, that if you do find yourself out of custody, really important, sir, that you come back to court, because if you do not do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could find yourself back in custody. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
And Judge, I know we did Samantha Piper long ago in the beginning, but I'm looking at the interim again, and I wanted to raise probable cause, and I mean, there's probable cause for criminal damage, but just not under the subsection that the officer cited to.
Okay. Well, I mean, I did review the interim complaint. It was sworn out to me this morning. I did find probable cause as it relates to it. So that's all I can say for right now, but thank you.
Okay, of course. Thank you, Judge.
And good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm cold.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you can warm up a little. All right. Could you please tell me your name?
Ronald Purvis Petrie.
All right. And so, Mr. Petrie, this is your initial appearance, sir. You've been arrested on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug and then you possessed drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. and I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. And Mr. Fatak is seated to your left for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, and I see that the state is recommending a $20,000 bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Fatak, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Petrie's last conviction is from 2013. This is a victimless crime. I understand he's on DUI probation.
And I've never absconded.
And he purports to be checking in. So
I've never absconded, Your Honor. Never once.
Okay, please just let your attorney speak for you. I mean, I appreciate that, but let Ms. Fatak say what needs to be said. And if you need to tell him something, feel free to do so, sir.
So, Your Honor, he's lived in Tucson for over 50 years. And given the remoteness of the last conviction, we have no objection to the court ordering no contact with his co-defendant. But Mr. Petrie is specifically asking me to advocate for nothing but release. So,
I got a big job and I can't.
So, Your Honor, so Mr. Petrie is wanting me to let the court know that he's compliant with probation and he has some finances he needs to take care of it. If he's not released, he will be financially harmed. So in light of all of that, we would ask the court to consider release to pretrial services. He is asking me specifically not to make an alternate bond recommendation, so I will stick to release to pretrial services. Thank you.
All right, just a moment, please. Sir, I am willing to release you on this case. I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. Your next hearing, sir, is going to be a preliminary hearing on November 19th, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be in Pima County Justice Court. I'm going to order some additional conditions, really important that you follow them, sir. So please listen if you weren't already.
Yes.
Sir, I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons. During the pendency of this case, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, and that you have no contact with the co-defendant, April Ingebretson. Are you willing to do all that, sir?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, so in light of that, I am willing to release you, sir. So really important that you stay in contact with your attorney and that you come back to any and all future court dates. Because if you don't do that, sir, a warrant could issue for arrest. You could find yourself back in custody, okay? Thank you, sir.
I will be. Tell him I will always be there.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi,
Could you please tell me your name?
Cheyenne Ray.
All right, just a moment. Ms. Ray, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a charge alleging organized retail theft and shoplifting, both alleged to have occurred yesterday on the 29th. You have the right to remain silent, ma'am, as it relates to all this stuff. Please be advised that anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney on this case. I'm going to appoint the legal defender to represent you on this case. Mr. Fatak is seated to your left. He's going to help you out for the purpose of this morning's hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I've reviewed the info supplied by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and then additionally the state's recommendation, which is requesting a $2,500 cash and secured bond. Ms. Mahalik, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Fatak, sir.
Your Honor, I understand the state's asking for a $2,500 bond, and noteworthy here is, Judge, that this is a property offense. And in speaking with Ms. Ray, she informs me things are going okay. She's followed through on treatment, does not struggle with substance abuse addiction at this time. So given her success, Your Honor, and she only has one prior, is only 29 years old, has some children she needs to support. So we are asking for release to pretrial services in this.
Okay, Mr. Ray, I'm willing to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, but I need to have you follow certain conditions, specifically your order to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol, or not to go back to the incident location or any Target store at all. Your days of entering a Target store are over. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, in light of that, I'm going to set your preliminary hearing on November 19th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in Pima County Justice Court. Please stay in contact with your attorney between now and that next court date, because it's just a good thing to do and they can keep you apprised of what's going on. Also really important that you come back to court, ma'am, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there a probation hold on Reyes?
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello,
Could you please tell me your name?
I'm Cristaniela Reyes.
All right. Ms. Reyes, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on allegations that you committed organized retail theft 3 times. And so you, ma'am, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all proceedings in the case. I'm going to appoint the legal defender to represent you, ma'am. Mr. Fatak is seated to your left for the purpose of today's hearing. He's going to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint. I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial. And additionally, I have reviewed the state's recommendation, which is requesting a $10,000 bond. And additionally, I would note that it appears that Ms. Reyes was placed on probation on a felony offense, actually 2 felony offenses, it appears, 10 days ago. So Ms. Mahalik, anything further on that bond recommendation? Okay, and Mr. Fatak, sir?
Yes, can I have a brief moment? She wanted to talk to me.
No problem.
Judge, Ms. Reyes is asking you to consider releasing her pretrial services supervision. I know the court just noted that she started her probation 10 days ago. We have no objection to the court ordering that she report the probation right away if we were to release her. So that's mainly because this is a property offense, Judge, and she's lived in Tucson for her entire life. And I believe she does have somebody who can assume third-party custody and transport, which would be her mother. So given all of that, and because Ms. Reyes does not want me to make a bond recommendation, I'm asking for release to pretrial services.
Understood. Thank you very much. And I'm assuming jail, there is no hold, no probation hold in place as of right now.
No, Judge.
All right. Thank you very much. In light of that, the court is going to impose a $5,500 cash or secured bond. Ma'am, if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You are not to go back to the incident location, ma'am, incident locations. Do not go back to any Harbor Freight store or any Kohl's store. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you're not done.
Second, we got to tell you a couple more things, then you'll be out of here. If you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, ma'am, you must contact probation within 72 hours of your release. And also, I'm setting a preliminary hearing on November 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And ma'am, you just got to come back to your next court dates if you're out of custody. If you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you very much. You are now excused.
Your attorney will talk to you.
And I believe that's it, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yes,
But
Judge.
it's
Thank
over.
you.
Have a good one.
Have a good day.